We acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. When it comes to running the business, that shit is gnarly. Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of Red Hot the Pod. I am stoked to be sitting with these two incredible human beings today. I've traveled, I'm interstate for the podcast currently, and I wanted to come down here and interview, not interview, but just like chat to people who are extremely successful in my eyes and a lot of other people's eyes. I would like to introduce Don and Matilda Robertson.
Hello, my love.
Hi.
Hello and welcome to Sydney.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me.
Two red hots.
Yep, it is. If you guys are watching this episode, we've got two of the hottest redheads in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we pioneered it, babe.
We did.
We're making it like a thing.
I love it, and I love being a redhead now. Are you the same?
I used to hate it.
Yeah, same now.
I used to hate it. I used to dye my hair black.
Me too.
Do you guys want me to leave?
Yeah, no, actually, I've decided I don't want Don here. All of a sudden, it's just us two.
Red hair grows so fast too, so I was packet dyeing my hair every week.
Same.
Are you?
Same.
Oh my
it was
God.
so bad.
Broke my mum's heart.
Have
Can
you
you
seen,
imagine, like the first time?
Till with photos of black hair?
No, I need to. I'll
Oh
show
my
you
God.
mine if you show me yours.
Yeah, done. You're on.
It's actually horrific.
It's so bad. Natural hair
bad.
color is the way to go.
It is, and I
or
was
as close to.
I was enhancing my red for a little while. Even that, like, because it grows so quickly, the orange regrowth, man.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It just does not want to stop. I'm like, why fight it?
yeah,
Let's just embrace.
and we love a good redhead.
we do. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Fiery
It's
is great.
It's hot to be a red now.
It's
Like,
hot.
yeah.
And
You know,
it's
you-
in.
I was going to say, like, you just see so many girls dyeing their hair reds now.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
People used to say to me, like, because when I used to get my hair done in Brisbane, my hairdresser would always say to me, she's like, people come in with photos of your hair all the time, saying like, how do I get that?
Yeah.
Make that happen.
It's
And
so
it was just like
funny.
my hair. That
Yeah.
was just my natural hair color.
Can
Now
you
it's in.
imagine though that time where we like came out of the bathroom with like black box dye? Our parents
My
would have.
mum.
I feel sorry. Like when we have kids, if they are redheads and they dye their hair, I'm gonna die. Like
Oh my God,
it'll break.
same.
Imagine coming out the bathroom and your daughter's
But I
dyed her
think
hair
it's
pitch
a
black.
rite of passage though, because like
It happens.
It
yeah.
girls want to experiment
Yeah.
and try the
Yeah.
other way.
Well,
Yeah.
we wanted to look like everyone else, right?
And kids bully and
Yeah.
stuff. Like that was the main like reason why I was doing it, because I was just over being picked on. for
Yeah,
having
I
red
wanted
hair.
to fit in and look like everyone else with
Same.
it. Like I was emo, you know, had my black fringe, listening to Panic at the Disco.
Oh my God, I was full Paramore. Like,
Oh, yeah, Take You
loving
Back
that.
Sunday?
Yes.
Sorry, babe.
Misery.
Forgot you,
Oh
yeah.
my God, please. So
I
fucking
literally
good.
cannot relate.
You have no idea.
No.
Stop.
Did you not have these bands?
No. Oh, look, I'm from Africa,
Did you
so
not have these beds?
we have very
still?
limited radio reception. If
That is.
What was
fucking-
on your iPod?
I don't have an iPod,
Like not even a nano.
guys.
Sorry.
Third world country.
What?
Please.
Okay.
No, because by the time I moved to Australia,
When did you move to Australia?
2007.
Okay, yeah. So you were born in South Africa?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, nice. So I just realized I hadn't actually told the people, like obviously I know who you are, most people know who you are, but Don and Till are the owners of STAX, guys, the athleisure empire that is. I have been, like working with STAX for, I don't even know how long.
Years.
Years and years.
I was
You guys are
thinking about it.
OGs, Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, how long have we known Louis for?
It was
And
honestly like I think it was just after you did the collab with M.
it would have been around
Yes.
that time.
I think
'cause
that's
how we
when it
would have
was.
connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. And man, the OG days of STAX, dude.
Crazy.
But it's funny because I was thinking about it this morning,
Hmm.
you know, when we first met or whatever. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember when we moved to Sydney first, like Till and I were just these two kids from Perth. We moved over.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd yet met Em at that stage.
Yep.
And we were just like, you know, we didn't have followings, whatever. And you guys were like these big social media stars. And
So
when
weird.
we first got to meet you, Till and I were like, wow, this is fucking crazy. And then you just sort of
That's so
fast
good.
forward, and it's quite a surreal experience that
Yeah.
we're all friends and we've all grown together.
Yep.
I mean, you're killing it at everything.
Oh
you're
my
doing.
God, please. That is so rich coming from you. Are you kidding me? You guys are literally, oh my God, I have so much that I want to talk about. Let's start with, okay, obviously it'll be business, but I just want to, it's just like, this is just what's on the tip of my tongue.
Go on.
You just presented Second Left at Paris fucking Fashion Week, period. Put that on a t-shirt.
We did. We just got back from Paris 2 days ago. We
And you're
flew in-
here.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah, we're
literally
still
made the
fighting
effort.
jet lag. Hey, are we allowed to swear on the podcast?
Please say every effing C you want to say.
Because I never got the brief, and I got to make sure I don't have a potty mouth.
Oh my God, no. My mouth is like literally so potty. It's foul. So you're absolutely free to say whatever you want to say. I dropped so many C-bombs the other day. We've had to beep them all out.
It's such a strong word though. Like I feel
It
like you
is.
can't use it too often, but when you use
it's
it,
so
it's
expressive.
powerful.
It's so powerful.
Yeah, and
And I'm
unexpected.
so for it.
Yeah.
Some people hate it. They're not my people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
I'm
when
The
you-
C word or
you
swearing in
s-
general?
yeah, just swearing in
Both.
general. Yeah, both. Actually, both. Yeah.
You're a true Australian if you know how to use the C word.
100%. It's got to be right though. I
Yeah.
feel like it has to be in the right circumstance because if it's too much, it's just like a bit. You're
It
a bit of a
loses its
dero.
effect. Yeah.
Tell me
Paris.
about Paris.
Yeah, it's insane. It's it's as a fashion brand and as a design team or design in Australia, it's a surreal experience being invited to Fashion Week. So Fashion Week's huge all over the world. So even to be able to be recognized to present, and we presented in a small show.
It was Second Left too, right?
it was
wasn't
Second Left.
STAX.
Yeah, it's
And
our-
you only
it's our new
just
brand, yeah.
recently started Second Left.
Yeah.
What
They'd
the hell?
seen. I think the organizers of the show that we presented at have been following us for a while.
Yep.
And they've seen what we've done with Second Left because we just launched Second Left a year ago, and then Sport within the last 3 months. And yeah, we got this random email about 6 weeks before the show saying, "Hey, we'd love to feature you in the show as a designer to watch." And I had to make sure this wasn't like some
Yeah, we thought it was fake.
some bullshit
I would
email.
have too. I would have too. It's spam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
straight
"What?
delete.
You guys are following people from the island, from
Yeah.
Australia?"
Yeah, from far, far away.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, Till and I spoke about it. We thought, we got to try.
Why
it.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to take and that's the story of our whole lives.
Yeah.
It's take every opportunity. If someone presents something, you jump at it.
Yeah.
You
I said it today, right? Like say yes and work it out later. Like
Love it. It's so
yeah.
good. This year has to, I've always said, like for this year, I'm like, this is a yes year for me, and only do things, well, it's either a fuck yes or a fuck no.
Yeah,
That's what I'm kind of channeling this year.
Well, here's a crazy story.
Tell
So something that's we're very proud of is that we've just hired our first US employee. And again, it's a huge moment. We've set up the company in the US as well.
Because you just had that event in LA.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. So, I don't know. When you have little achievements, you sit back and you think like,
What the hell?
yeah,
Yeah.
how? Like, how did this happen? So
How did it grow?
having a US
Everything.
employee, I mean, it's all big flex. You still have to.
It's such a fucking flex. Flex
But-
it, Don.
Thank
Bloody
you.
oath.
We're super proud of it. But what was really special about this individual is that, gone through the process. It's been months of, trying to interview people,
Yeah.
trying to understand the culture, connect
Yeah.
with people on their terms. We found some phenomenal candidates, and then we decided to hire this girl. And we hired her, exchanged contracts. I called her the next day and said, "Hey, coincidentally, this is tying in with Fashion Week." Because it was days before Fashion Week, and we said we'd love to invite you because we could meet halfway.
Oh my God.
Want to come to Paris?
Want to come to Paris?
Let me think. Oh, actually, yeah, my schedule's just cleared up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll be there. Yep, that would have been me if I was her.
But isn't it special that she said yes? Like
Of
she said,
course.
"Whoa, you've caught me by surprise. Let me just try and figure out my life and see if I can make it work."
Yeah.
She messaged us the next day, and she
That is amazing.
Within
So you met her?
24 hours, yeah. But it goes to your point. Like she had the yes man attitude.
It was
So
so cool.
good.
It was like with the hills. Like,
Yes.
like on the hills where like, they're like, oh, you got the job. We're going to Paris Fashion Week. I was like, oh my God, I'm
I'm
wearing
living it
Conrad.
out. Yeah, that's so good. Oh my God. Okay, so I want to know, where did the idea for Second Left come from? Like, how was that born? Because obviously STAX was obviously so successful, and that was just something like a creative outlet for you, was it?
Yeah, I think it actually ties into this particular question.
Yeah.
It's the and whenever anyone's asking or doing interviews about STAX, people want to be like, where did the idea come from?
Yeah.
What does STAX mean? What
Yeah.
is and in the culture
It's a
we
hard
live,
question to answer too, I feel.
it's such a hard question, but
Yeah.
you realize, the thing that makes a brand is the story. People want to identify with the story. People want to connect with the founders. People want to identify with the culture of what it represents.
Yeah.
And you look at any historical fashion brand, they all have that story. They all have that deeper meaning.
So true.
And something that not bothered us, but raised an awareness within Till and I is that STAX didn't have a representation of a name or a particular story. STAX is just a cool brand that makes cool activewear. Till and I run the business. We wing everything. We try and figure out what we do along the way.
Yep, as you do.
But also within Australia, we sort of got boxed in as just an athleisure brand, just as a sportswear brand. And as much as I'm an artist and a creative, and Till and I always want to do cool things. And you've been to so many of our shows where we've pushed the boundaries
Fucking
of what
epic,
an
man.
activewear brand can do.
What goes into those shows, Don, is remarkable.
Thank you.
I actually have on my notes here to just give you so much praise for the inclusivity that you guys are so strongly push that in your shows. And I think obviously everyone who sees it can recognize it, and it's so amazing.
Well, your mum walked for our show.
Yeah,
she did.
Right?
Wait, I forgot about that.
Iconic.
Oh my God.
Isn't that the coolest thing?
That was so cool. I was honestly almost pretty wasted that night, and I
Yeah.
just remember seeing her walk out, and I was jumping with joy.
It was
screaming
beautiful. It was
at her.
beautiful.
She killed that.
Yeah.
Just,
She's
but
a
everyone
supermodel
does.
She's an angel.
Honestly,
Yeah.
she is. She's
Yeah,
like a
she's so
fucking
hot.
supermodel.
Yeah.
I don't know how she's not like a paid model.
Yeah.
because she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
but yeah,
Second Left was born from the idea that we wanted to create something that had a meaning.
Yep.
And we wanted an outlet where we could express ourselves as artists,
Yeah.
do fashion, like a brand
just
without boundaries. When we do the shows and we do the cool creative, people love what we do. But
Yeah.
I think sometimes the message of what we're trying to bring is lost because people identify STAX with one of Australia's biggest activewear brands.
Yes.
And
Yep.
and as an artist and as a designer and as a storyteller,
Do you get bored? That would be like you don't feel like you're fully being able to express yourself.
exactly,
Yeah.
or you guys wouldn't be able to see the ideas we're trying to bring.
Mm.
So Second Left for us was a new brand that didn't have boundaries.
Yeah.
That wasn't boxed in and was expressive and and it's not something that we're not trying to chase KPIs or revenue. It's being artistic and expressing ourselves. And I'll let Till talk about what Second Left means. 'Cause
Yeah, please, I was gonna
she
ask you.
articulates the words quite well.
Yeah, so Second Left, it was when Don says there wasn't a meaning behind the word STAX. People would say, what does STAX mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And we're like, it started from Don having a supplement store called Muscle STAX.
Right.
He would sell T-shirts, and then he stopped selling sups, so he dropped the muscle. I say dropped the muscle. He still
the
got
word
muscle.
You're
John's like, oh,
savage.
thanks, babe. Yeah.
And then we just went with STAX. So
Right.
there's no
Cool,
real meaning.
yeah,
behind
right,
it, you know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Second Left is really cool because we were trying to think of a name for the brand.
Mm-hmm.
And we always do things a little bit differently. We don't follow the crowd. We kind of dance to the beat to our own drum. So
Yeah.
it's if everyone's going right, we're going to go left, and we're going to take the second left just to be a little bit more
Super
different.
different.
Doing your own thing.
Because
I
and being
love
it means
confident in
the
that.
road less traveled. It's like,
Yeah.
and the thing, I think some people identify with this in our generation because we're all young entrepreneurs trying to do our own thing.
Yeah.
And so many people our age, I guess I'm getting older now, but the 25 to 30 mark, everyone's trying to have a crack at life and do it. And then people get lost and they get stuck in the space where they're like, well, which direction do we take?
Yeah.
And my thought process always just do whatever you want to do.
Do what feels good for you.
Figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
If the crowd is going right, go left, and don't make it easy. Take the second left.
I love that.
And that's I guess
It's a cool fucking story.
the idea behind the concept of the brand.
I love
And
it.
we love telling the story now because when people ask us,
Yeah,
what's
we're
STAX
proud
name?
of the name.
cool.
I was
We're
like,
proud
yes.
of the name now.
She asked
Yeah.
us. This is our time.
Yeah. No,
Time to shine.
I've always wanted to know because ever since I obviously noticed that you launched the brand, I was like, where did that name come from?
Yeah.
But that's such a sick story.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I love that. Okay. I also want to ask you guys just where this episode's going to be solely probably business chat, guys. Hope that's okay with everybody. But I'm talking to two of the most successful people in business that I know. So I'm going to chew your ears off with business
Go
chat.
for it.
Hope you don't mind. So what is it like being in business with your significant other?
Do you want to leave the room alone? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We are so Don and I don't think everyone could do it.
No, definitely not.
No.
Definitely
But Don
not.
and I are very lucky. We have completely different skill sets and opposite passions, so to speak. So it's not like I'm like sitting on like Don's lap and we're typing an email together. Do you know what I mean? Like I am working in
Although
PR.
that does sound fun.
Don's like, hey,
I wouldn't mind
does
it,
it on my lap.
I think the staff might have an issue with that.
Yeah. I work in the PR side of things.
Yep.
I'm director of PR, and then Don is kind of director of everything else.
Okay.
So our roles don't overly overlap, which is good. Another thing that I love about it is that we both have the same end goal. Like, so we both want what's best for the business. And although we may have like different opinions on what that may be, we both know that we have the same intention.
Right, yes.
So we can work through arguments or any disagreements because we know that we're heading to the same place. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, so good.
Another perk about it is that, like, at the end of the day, like, if I've had a shit day, Don has also had a shit day. If something's gone wrong, I don't have to try and explain to my husband why this is a big deal.
So good.
And vice versa. If we have a win, when we have a win, we celebrate it together. We don't need to, like, I can't imagine, like, going home to my husband and being like, oh, this happened. And he's like, oh, cool. I'm like, it is a huge deal, but you don't get it.
Yes.
Whereas Don gets it and we get it. So we're so lucky in that sense.
So good.
Yeah, it's something we've navigated over time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people when they assess us and they assume they can't do it. And I often challenge people's thoughts, like get into business with your partner.
Yeah.
Because if
see,
you,
I'm the opposite. I'm like maybe not.
no, I think
I don't know how I'd go, to be honest.
No, but I think that's where, you know, when you put your ego aside and when you put your self identity aside, it's the things that make any relationship successful. You know, you guys are working at life together.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to have a successful marriage or partnership, like, you know, you get into this thing together and you have each other's back.
So
you know,
good.
And I think if you can apply it in business as well, it's where you're going to see the most success in a
true.
relationship.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think I read somewhere like it might have been a TikTok or something, but it's like.
I love that we said I read somewhere. We're like, oh, we watched it on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't read. Definitely was a TikTok.
We read a news article.
Yeah, literally. It was news.com. No, it was like do business with your partner, because like that's when you spend the most amount of time together. Obviously, if you're working, you work separate jobs, which I assume most people do with their partners. You don't get to spend all of that time together, and you really only have we only get this life once, right? Like it's
and you get to
beautiful
share,
that you have that. You can share that together.
You share everything together. I mean, don't get us wrong. Like we bicker, we have arguments, we have disagreements, but the beauty is we know how to take a step back, assess the situation, and respond. And the other thing I think that is great for us is, you know, I can get pretty loose with my temper almost. So I could send like an abusive email back, or I can But, you know, Till would be the filter. We discuss it with each other. We, you know, had situations recently where I said to Till, I'm like, I'm glad we get to talk to each other first before we have to respond.
Yeah. See, that would be me. I would be the one that would be fiery. And then Jet would go, let's pump it a little bit and just like take a breather, reassess, maybe change a few words. Don't call them an effing C. Not that I would. But you know what I mean? Balances you out kind of thing. So I love that.
Yeah. I think we're so lucky.
We're very blessed.
Yeah.
But you know that, and you're very vocal about how lucky you are. You know you are, which is so humbling and beautiful. I love seeing that with you guys.
We're very grateful, yeah.
What mistakes did you make at the start? Because I know
a relationship or business.
Yeah, sorry, I should preface. We're still talking about business, guys. I know that you started. STAX was 10 odd years ago, was it?
I think we're on 12 now.
Holy hell! And so from that, because I don't know, for me, I'm like, I'm almost 3 years into chill, and I'm like, I look at you, and I'm like, that perseverance that you have to stick it out for 12 years. When did you really start to see success with STAX? Like, it was years.
I'll let you know when it happens.
Oh, please. No, you know what I mean? Like,
it's a phenomenal question. I think people want an answer, whereas like there's a specific time.
Yeah, like it just happened.
Or people want me to say, you know, now everything feels great and like, you know, money's great and the business is great.
It ebbs and flows, man.
It ebbs and flows. And then I think when you take a step back and the older you get and the more you deal with, the more experienced you become.
Yeah.
And when you listen to entrepreneurs or business people that have been doing this way longer than us, they give us all the tools. They say to us, you know, you have to go through some really dark times continuously. Then you have some crazy highs. And that's stuff we still go through. You know, obviously people look at the social media. We know in our generation, it's the highlight reel, blah, blah, blah. People don't like last night. I was lying awake at midnight thinking about, you know, projects that I'm working out or things or money. I'm like, you know, you have these anxiety attacks in the middle of the night.
Yep.
And most CEOs or business owners, they don't talk about it, but I can tell you it happens to every single one of us.
So true.
I think like we continuously make mistakes. I think the key is just to continuously learn from them. If I look back at my journey, I look back at the story of how we started, I don't think anything was a mistake. I think that it was all a sequence of happenings for us to get to where we are.
So
right
good.
now.
Yeah. I try and think like that, like with me and my mistakes, that they have been mistakes, but I've also just taken advice from people who I thought had my best interests, and it's just led me down the complete wrong path. They had bad intentions. We've had fabric fuck ups. Like, I'm sure you guys have experienced similar things. Like, a whole collection will arrive in the complete wrong fabric, and you've got to pay the $100,000 balance on the collection. It's just like things like that.
How it happens.
It just happens. But you really like, that's when you're so put to the test as a business owner. Like, holy fuck, how can I? You don't have a choice. You have to figure it out.
It's always a lesson.
It's always a lesson.
Expensive lesson.
Oh my God.
You know what I say? I love this topic because, it's something I'm quite vocal and passionate about. People ask Till and I for like mentoring or lessons or whatever. And I always think to myself, I'm like, if you want to have the best for your business, you have to figure out yourself.
Yeah.
People that have business coaches to run their business, or people that, consulting is fine. Getting perspective is fine. But taking advice from someone and completely applying that, I think, is the worst thing you can do without you fully understanding what you're trying to execute.
Yep, I totally agree. I think I was taking bad financial advice from someone who I was certain had my best interest, and it just completely fucking rolled me, to be honest. Like when was that? It was start of last year, end of 22, I think it was. Yeah, just like absolutely almost lost everything, which was just like the most gnarly thing, because at the end of the day, I'm like, I know that, and like you guys would feel the same, like when you ride so hard for your product and you're like, that the business has it in it to be really successful, but it's just like you just feel so like inadequate to make it sort of happen if you don't have, whether it's money or a following or like, and I'm so lucky that I had a following prior to starting Chill, because I feel like I don't know if I don't like saying that I don't know if I wouldn't have started a business if I didn't have a following, but I do think about it sometimes because I don't know, I think it obviously helps, right, with traffic, and
it catapults you into a position that is 3 years ahead of anyone starting from the beginning.
Totally.
But everyone catches up to the point where it's like, cool, your following is fantastic, but now you have to run the business.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. When it comes to running the business, that shit is gnarly. Yeah. And if you have no prior knowledge,
in 3 years from now, when you've exhausted your following and you need to find new business, you start from scratch. It's what we and those are called economic cycles. These are things you're going to go through every 4 years when you're going to question absolutely everything.
Every 4 years.
Because it doesn't go away. Again, like the people that have done this have told us this. People that are super successful. Read the Branson books. Read the Phil Knight books. These people are literally telling us that, hey, if you think you're going to become a millionaire and it's going to be great once you're there, think again, because you're going to come up with a new idea. The market's going to change. We've just gone through a soft recession. We've just come out of COVID. Like, what do you think is going to happen in the next 10 or 20 years?
Oh my God, it's so scary. That's such a fucking
scary
thought.
But it's also such a good
But it's
thing.
exciting.
That's
it
what
is, yeah.
Like, I know Don sometimes says that my mindset is quite annoying because I'm literally always positive. But it's like...
No, let me tell you.
Really annoying.
No, let me tell you. Sorry about it. I don't want to interject, but you'll appreciate this because sometimes I like to have a bitch and I like to have a whinge or whatever. But Till is the optimistic, glass half full.
Won't be me.
And the older and more mature and wiser she becomes, the more like zen. The more zen.
I'm just so chill about things. Like, I would just literally, like, if something bad happens, I'm already onto the lesson that I've learned from it, and like how, like, I'm not going to sit there and dwell that, we've got the wrong fabric and we've got to pay this much money. I'm like, okay, cool. So the lesson that we learned from this is this, and we'll just move. Like, I don't know. It's something that I've definitely had to train myself.
How have you become that way, though? Have you always been so positive?
A little bit, but I used to have really quite bad anxiety, and I don't know what I've done or how I wish I had like the answer, but I've kind of had this mind switch where it's like, I have so much like faith and trust in that everything will just work out because I'm a good person and I work really hard. And we're a good team and we work really hard.
And we try to do the right thing.
We do the right thing, you know? And so like, I just genuinely think that everything that is like thrown at us is a lesson, and it's like putting us into the right direction. So if we've gone through something bad, when we go through things that are hard, I'm just automatically taking the lesson, and I'm literally grateful for it because I know that I won't make that mistake again. And it seems like a massive deal now, but then when you look back in a couple of years, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I lost my mind over
like such a small thing, right?
Yeah, and imagine if that happened now and I hadn't learnt the lesson back then, I would have so much more to lose now. So I'm always just grateful for the lessons when they come up.
We have this mantra where, you know, and just focus on this for a second. Like, let's say you're trying your best, and some things aren't working out, and you're going to sit in your position and you think like, man, this is just not working out. It's just not going to plan. But why don't you say to yourself, like, wait, this is it working out.
This is the plan.
This is the plan.
Oh my God.
This wasn't supposed to happen.
That's a wig out.
And that's our mantra. We'll often say, like, in all the shit that's thrown at us, which is crazy, like you need 3 hours for us to be able to just touch on one topic. But Till and I will literally step back and we'll be like, thank you, God. All right, we get it. This wasn't the plan. Let's not sit here and wallow. Let's not cry about the thousands or the 100,000s we've lost, or the fabric. Wrap it up and we move on. This is the plan. It's not, this is it working out. It not working out is working out. Yeah.
I love that.
I don't know. It's so like that really flipped in my mind, and I just became like so much more okay with life. I'm like, okay, this is just how it's supposed to be. If that didn't go to plan, it's because it like there was something else for me. There is something else coming for me.
That is
but
honestly
you
good.
also listen to a lot of podcasts. You read a lot. Like
you do read a lot, Till.
You put your mindset in a condition that is positive. You don't have like toxic friends and relationships. You don't. And we watch criminal shows all the time, but.
I love it.
Very good at criminal shows.
Yeah, love that. Love that. That doesn't make you a criminal. It just makes you normal.
Makes
I think.
You smarter.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because like if I was in a situation, I can handle it. I think.
love it.
Like an escape room we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, she's apparently like the queen of escape rooms.
Very good at escape room. I've only ever like done 2, but I'm out of them. Here I escaped.
Live to tell the tale. I love it. So good. Okay, next question. What advice would you give to someone who wants to start a business, especially in our industry, your industry?
Just do it. I think.
Love it.
I think the crazy thing is, I said this to someone yesterday. I was in a really smart people in real estate, business, blah, blah, blah. And I said, how often do we talk ourselves out of great ideas because we create anxieties and problems that don't exist yet?
Yeah. Daily?
And here's the cracking point. Us as humans think we invent everything. We think that our ideas have just been created, whereas everything that we think about has subconsciously been achieved before because we've seen it.
Yeah.
Like any design you're thinking of, any design I'm thinking of is a reference to something I've seen. Our brains actually don't create things that don't exist. So my point there is what you want to do in your business has already been done. So why can't you do it?
Yeah.
Why can't it work out for you? But then we'll get into those situations where we'll talk ourselves out of a great idea.
Yep. All the time.
So
all the time.
So for us the advice is just do it. Have a crack.
Yeah, have a crack. I agree. I think like, especially with business, and I mean, I know it's like, it can be extremely daunting, especially like with the fact that you would probably have to invest money into it to get it started. I know it was for me anyway. But like, life is so fucking short, man.
Yeah. Seriously,
just give it a go. Yeah, like if it doesn't work out, as you said, it's not meant to be. Well, but you may as well have a go.
Here's the thing, and this is, I'm glad you brought up the money thing. Like, of course it's going to take an investment. It's going to take a time investment. It's going to take a patience investment.
Everything.
For the first 5 years, we didn't make money.
Yeah.
We were working full time.
Yep.
Then we moved to Sydney, and I was
that was
working,
expensive, moving and living in Sydney.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my God.
From Perth
everything.
to Sydney.
That is a huge.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah.
But the other thing is we decided that we made the decision, and within 2 months after that we moved. We put everything in a container and we did it. Like we didn't have a warehouse. We didn't have we found a storage unit. We didn't have an apartment. Like we didn't talk ourselves out of a decision that was born. And we moved over with nothing. Luckily, Till had to keep a full-time job to make sure we could pay the rent. And that's 5 years into you starting the business.
That's crazy, man.
People give up after 3 months. People give up after. Because they don't realize, let's say, you've spent $3,000 on your first little shipment and, you're struggling to sell it, forget the money. Try and sell that over time. Spend 5 years trying to sell that t-shirt and make people believe that brand is going to be something.
So true.
You know, like chill, like it's on the same level as the biggest brands in the space. You know, you can't talk yourself out of like excelling and competing with the best.
Yeah. I want to tell I heard on a podcast this quote, and it was amazing. The door.
Oh yeah.
So it was like saying that if you have a good idea, so there's two different kinds of ideas, and
I can see her brain going like this.
I know, I'm like trying to like make sure I don't butcher it.
Love it.
So when you have an idea, it's like walking through a door, and the majority of the time you can walk through a door. When you walk through a door, you can come back through the door. It doesn't automatically lock after you. It's not a forever closed door.
Love it.
So an idea, if you want to start a business, if you want to do it, whatever it is, make sure it's a two-way door so you can walk through and you can walk back. And you're fine. Give it a go, because if you walk through the door and you realize that it's not for you, you can just walk back and you will be in a better position.
Yep.
Just don't close the door.
Maybe you won't be financially in a better position, but you would have learned so much from that experience, and you can walk through the door. Idea that is like one side closing will be something, and it was like, you know, you walk through the door and it could be like, there could be like something bad on the other side that you can't come back from.
Yeah,
that is a little bit different, but majority of your ideas and the majority of the things that you want to do require a two-way door.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%. I think like just it comes back to what you said, Don, like just have a go.
Yeah.
Like honestly have a go. What, besides maybe a bit of money, I feel like the lesson that you learn, as you said, from
worth so much more.
It totally is.
Yeah.
And even if it fails, what's the worst? You have a bit of debt you can work
always
off.
make more money.
You know, like
you can.
You can't let the money thing. I swear to God, if the money thing was the issue in our life when starting this business, we would not be here.
Yeah.
Because we did not have we could not get you know, when the supplement shop went belly up, I think I was like in $80,000 in debt.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
And you turned it around.
But that's when you're working for like $20 an hour to try and find another job at a server, or you're hustling. You're sitting with that burden. But what do? You just sit and wallow, and you don't have a choice.
Make it happen. Yeah.
You have to you know, pick yourself up and keep going, and that's life. That's the beauty of life.
Yeah.
It's there isn't an end to these things. People should just have a crack.
Fucking oath. Such a testament to your character too. Like you're extremely resilient, I feel, and anyone who like wants to start a business, like I feel like they should look at your story and how you've built STAX to where you have today, and it just keeps continuing to grow. I know you guys have stores now, and we've got more in the works. Is that correct? There's one coming to Perth.
Yeah, we've got one in Perth at the moment.
Oh, it's open now?
We've got one in the city.
So
we're opening up Karrinyup.
Yeah, so
Em told me about that. Em told me about it. She's like, yep, told Don
I don't
to
think
put
we've
a store
officially
there.
announced
I was
that.
like,
So
oh, sorry.
Surprise!
Surprise! Perth!
So
Go shop STAX.
So Perth is a special one for us because that's where we were born.
You're from
there,
that's,
right? That's like a passion project. Obviously, Karrinyup is a great mall.
Yeah.
But you know, when we opened our CBD store as a pop up, it just went crazy. So
the Sydney one?
No, the one in Perth.
Oh, the one in Perth.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
We've got a store. We've got stores in Sydney, Melbourne, Perth.
No Gold Coast yet.
It's coming.
We're working on it.
Ooh,
Gold Coast and Adelaide.
Yeah.
We're working on both.
Gold Coast would be huge for you guys.
We're opening 4 more confirmed this year.
Holy.
But I can't disclose that yet.
Okay. Shh.
Top secret.
Top secret. That is like insane. So I also want to know, like, as far as obviously you see a lot of success from the stores, like in comparison to online, what is like, there's obviously a noticeable like amount of success that you have from people being able to come in and try on the product. Is that correct?
I think it's really nice. It's a really great way to be able to connect with the customers as well, because you would know, like, if you don't really receive emails on like on Chill saying like, oh, I love the product. Like if you're getting an email, it's normally something that needs to be resolved, right?
Yeah.
So it's obviously we connect on Instagram, but it's so nice to be able to actually see the customers in person.
So true.
And a lot of the time with activewear, people don't know what sizes they are, so being able to try it on helps. It's amazing, and it's just like, it's very surreal being able to go into like your own store.
That would be so fucking surreal for you.
It's wild.
Oh my
it's
God.
so wild. And post-COVID, people are shopping again. And I think that was something that's really cool that we we're one of the first stores to kind of open up again after COVID.
We're the first e-commerce only brand post-COVID to go into brick and mortar at scale, at our scale.
And people didn't think it was a good idea because everyone was online.
Everyone told us it was a bad idea.
Yeah,
people didn't love the idea. but we saw the opportunity, and I'll tell you why. Post COVID, we all saw all the vacancies around, right?
Yeah.
Like landlords were struggling.
Yeah.
We saw it as an opportunity. We looked at it and we said to the landlords, like, hey, we're a small brand. We're trying to have a crack at it. Give us a cheap rent.
Yeah.
And they gave us cheap rents.
That's
and this worked so well, and we thought, okay, well, we're just going to duplicate this model a few times. And that was our low risk entry into brick and mortar. But to Till's point, I think when your business evolves, you realize you can't be omni-channel. You got to be multi-channel. You can't have, one source of sales channels. We want to be able to get in front of people and treat every store with its own love and energy for its own community, because there's still people that hate shopping online.
Yeah, so
that
true.
That wanna come into store and get a touch and feel. And I'm a retail kid. I worked at Foot Locker back in the day. I used to hustle sneakers on, and I love the experience. And we look at it and we think, well, to be honest, what it costs to market online to get new customers, it's probably cheaper to open up stores.
True.
And find
I never
new
thought
people.
of that. Oh, because
just based on foot traffic,
so true. Because the amount of money that goes in, I mean, God, you guys would be fucking 100-fold mine, but the amount of money that goes into marketing,
online marketing is huge.
Oh my God.
Well, the other hard thing is I learned this just recently. I was trying to find a new name for a pair of leggings, right? And I started typing in this name plus leggings, and I was like, oh, it's already taken. And then I started just this experiment, and people should do this. Type in any name you can think of and add tights or leggings to it, and you realize there's a brand that's tried this.
Yeah.
And then you realize the saturation of our market and how many brands, or how many
especially
people have
activewear. Yeah.
And what makes that really hard is now you're competing with all these people online, so it becomes super expensive.
Yeah.
And
to market.
we live on a little island
true.
called Australia with a population of 26 million. Everyone's trying to have a crack at online sales. So all of a sudden what happens is your cost of marketing, you're competing with all these brands, it's through the roof.
So you guys have had, obviously you have such a, do you have I imagine you would have such a strong overseas customer base, right? Where's are you mostly, would you say overseas wise, it would be mostly the US? Do you think?
No, Australia's our biggest market.
Yeah, but outside of Australia?
Oh, sorry, yes. But that's...
So US is biggest for you.
But what we decided to do was we're only going to service Australia with STAX, and we built second left
and
for the US. And
STAX.
Got you.
So we only... I mean, STAX is global. You can shop it anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But, we've identified with our Australian culture as an Australian brand and New Zealand. And STAX is for Australia and for New Zealand.
Yeah.
And we've built second left to take on... global markets. I don't know. It's like a weird thing that's sort of just navigated. So yeah, US is huge.
So cool.
But it's also so fun. Seeing US respond so positively to second left.
There's so many. You have so many celebrities that wear STAX.
It's so
all the
cool.
time.
Yeah,
that is so cool. So as far as, I mean, I'm just curious, just because I also want to know, getting your stuff on celebrities, is that through how does that come about? Do you just send someone?
Till's the master of PR. So
yeah, shit. I'm like, Till, can I hire you for chill, babe? What have you got on?
Sorry, I don't want to answer for you, but Till spends I don't think people appreciate how much work Till puts into the PR in the back. I do operations.
My screen time
design.
is very high.
Yeah, I bet, babe.
But it's okay. It's my work.
It's your job.
Till's on 2 phones, and I don't like to say this a lot because then people take advantage of it, but Till still manages the Instagram. She's still front facing on customer service on that platform. So she's responsible for sourcing and seeding, reaching out to people, trying to do deals hey, wear us, can we gift you whatever.
So it's sometimes just as simple as a DM.
Yeah.
Really?
But well, a couple of our biggest celebrity hits have come from organic
shopping.
No way.
Crazy.
So
that is
when we were in the Bunnings car park.
Yeah.
Oh my God, tell me.
I don't want to put names on, but we
that's
had.
fine. Yeah.
I'll tell the story. We were driving. It was IKEA. We were driving to IKEA, and we saw this. And this was 2 years ago, I think. And we saw this big sale come through from New York, and we didn't have any real traffic coming from. We get a couple of sales here and there for a hoodie or a pair of tights or leggings.
Yeah.
$80, $120. This was a $400 order, and we stopped and we because the app you can see the sales on your app. That's my favorite sound.
Love that sound.
And then we had a look at it and we saw I think it was a $400 sale. New York. So I'm like, who the hell is this?
that?
We started investigating. We saw the name. We're like, oh, okay, cool. Looked at the name,
and it was their name, the celebrity's name?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. And then we were like, oh, name looks familiar. Till starts googling it, and we
Instagram.
Instagram. We didn't quite connect the dots. It didn't. It seemed too
good to be true almost. Yeah.
And then we were like, no way. And this person DM'd after on the STAX account saying, "Hey, just shopped."
Yeah, just shopped.
You're gonna have to tell me who that is off the air.
It was so cool. And then once you kind of get in that way, that person's friends get involved. I started hearing from stylists. Stylists would be emailing me.
Well, our biggest placement of all time, and I don't like putting names in the conversation.
I have a feeling I know who you're gonna say.
You would know it's our biggest name of all time, but Ward, we were all like, she was wearing a lilac set, paparazzi got it everywhere, blah blah blah, and then we're trying to navigate how this happened.
Can you say the name?
Not on
Oh, damn.
and then we got an email from her assistant a week later saying, "Hey, thank you so much. We shopped. She loves the stuff." And Till and I like,
God.
what the fuck?
That is honestly, that would be the most surreal fucking feeling.
It's so cool. But
ever.
when I get a win, when I get an address, like maybe this is like
She's
my
like, when I get the address,
criminal
it's like,
minds
ooh.
kind of sign. I'm like I am trying to find these placements.
Yes,
do you know what I
girl.
mean?
I love it.
I love it. It's that's exciting for me.
But I mean, and to be
Horny for
transparent,
it.
we have a PR department
Yep.
internally at Till Spearhead. So like, the team is trying to find wins and placements and trying to connect and find now.
So how many people do PR for STAX?
I think we have 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Four
Yeah.
people.
And you're the
internally,
head.
Yeah.
Till. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's people think that there's some miracle to it, but it's really just trying to find.
Just creating an epic fucking product.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
So do that and
That's it,
send some
done.
DMs and you'll be sweet. That's the key. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you one more question, but what will it be?
We got time, please.
We do.
This is a fun chat.
I know. I'm loving
I'm
this.
having fun.
I'm enjoying this.
You are great at this, by the way.
What do you think?
You are fantastic at.
Oh my God. Thank you. That is so lovely. I feel like, I enjoy it so much. It's kind of like a weird version of therapy for me, especially if I do them. Like, obviously I love speaking to people that I know and learning from people like you guys, but also just talking. If I'm doing a solo episode, it's so like
it's like a release.
It's like meditation.
Yeah.
You're so entrenched and focused in the conversation.
Yes.
I was saying to Till, like, I didn't sleep much last night because we're still trying to get through jet lag, and I was feeling super anxious today and just irritated in all areas. And I was like, okay, we've got to do the podcast, and I can't. But we love seeing you, whatever.
Yeah.
But having this conversation for me is just like cleared all anxiety.
Same.
Because you're not worried about all the shit you're doing.
That's literally like the second, and that's how I feel like when I step into the podcast studio at home, and I actually feel pretty good in this one right now. I was a bit nervous before, but I'm feeling good now. It just like I'm not thinking about chill. I'm not thinking about anything else. It's just like me in the moment talking about whatever the hell I want to talk about, learning from people like you guys. It's just like it's such a nice, comfortable, it doesn't feel like work. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just enjoyable for me.
And I think that's going to translate into your views as well. I think I hope people are listening to you having the same like feeling of meditation and zen and inspiration. Because
I chat that much shit, Don. It's not even funny, but it's also like that comes from a place of like that's just me being me.
Yeah,
like I'm just that way inclined, and I mean people seem to like to listen to it. So
yeah,
I love that.
No,
so good.
Great.
Okay, here's the last one. How do you stay so innovative and relevant in such a flood? I mean, I would say it's a flooded athleisure. Would you say it's a flooded market?
Mm-hmm.
Like what do you do that you think sets you guys apart from the others? God, that's a difficult question. If someone asked me that, I'd say get fucked.
No, I think it's a great question because it's something we have to audit ourselves in all the time. You focus on yourself and you focus on your why and what makes you tick, and you focus on the things that drive the business. So, again, like I always think like, designers get way too much credit that, creatives and artists and people get way too much credit because all we're doing is recycling great ideas and putting our touch on it. And
I'm going to remember that you said you, as a designer, get way too much credit. Can we roll that
back? No, because I just listen. Like, personally, I just focus on, a community and I listen to what people are happy to give their feedback and tell you what they want.
Yep.
And you have to be open-minded. I say this often now, and that's what Till passes the comment. I used to be quite like not egotistical, arrogant, but man, like my ideas and my creative was like everything. The shows are the flex, and I just really want people to love my ideas and my designs, and then I don't get credit for it. And I'm like, you know, people never ever talk about the cool shit I've done. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe people don't really care. But then you realize, like, as an expressive artist, your job is just to create and let people interpret it however they want to. So for us, you know, we just listen to people's opinions and we just do what we want to do. So you know, we take the road less traveled.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, I feel like it's community. Like, community is so important to us.
So true.
And our, like, STAX fam, our STAX VIPs, they are, like, everything, and they keep everything kind of going. And just, like, to Don's point, feedback, I used to hate getting feedback. I used to hate when a customer...
It does hurt you a little bit sometimes if it's not
positive.
Nice.
Yeah. But now, again, like, I don't know what's happened. I flipped a switch.
She's too fucking positive.
But now
it's
disgusting, I know, but I welcome the feedback. Like, we just before we came, we had a meeting and we were going through like, it was a feedback meeting, and we were talking about, like, some of the feedback that we were getting from the customers or customer service. And before that would have, like, driven me into, like, defense, right? Like, I would have been, like, offended by all of these. And now I'm like, I'm so thankful that people are actually telling us this, because imagine if everyone just lied to you and said, oh no, it's perfect.
Yeah, so true.
You would never grow.
So true.
So now I'm, like, welcoming the feedback, and it means that we can do better. Like,
and you have the ability to make changes too.
Totally. Because if everyone just said everything was perfect, we would never change a thing. We'd become stagnant and everyone would overtake us.
Right? Is that saying you have to learn before you earn? So we'll sit in situations, and I encourage the team, you know, on one hand, I'm super proud of what we do. And I'm like, you know, in many areas we're innovative. In many areas we set the trends, the way we market, the way we aggressively storytell. We do it, and then people catch up, and then we start seeing people copy what we do or do it in their way. And I'm into it. I welcome it. It's cool, because I sit back and I'm like, okay, cool. Here's the challenge. Now we've got to sit back and think. Let's try and figure out what we can do next. And then I like it when, you know, that's what I meant when I earlier said, you know, it's good to consult. Ask people for their opinion and advice. It doesn't mean I have to take it, but I'm looking for that one conversation start in my own brain that's going to say, hey, shit, let's do something cool. Like last year we did these newspapers for our Second Left show, right? And, you know, that's something that has obviously been done in the world before. And all of a sudden, like, you just saw everyone do it in the 3 months that followed.
I remember that.
But that inspirational thought came from somewhere, and I'm like, okay, what can we do next year? What's the challenge? You know, we're completely changed the way we digitally market. You know, organic marketing.
What about influencers? Like, obviously, you guys have used influencers to kind of catapult the brand. Would you say
influencers was our superpower? But you know, you get to a point where it's like, you know, everyone's our friends.
Yeah.
You know, and you just don't want to put people in that space where they feel like it's just a business transaction.
Yeah, so true.
And the world's evolving. You know, influencers don't just want to wear the one same brand all the time.
Yeah.
And like, we still use influencers.
Yeah,
like it's our superpower, but they're all our friends.
Yeah.
Like, we live on the island. You know, it's small. You guys are all like
literally
our little family. So it still works super well for us, but that's one basket.
Yeah.
And the thing I realized early on in running businesses, you never want to put your eggs in one basket, because what happens if Instagram crashes?
Oh, dude, I'm
like it did 2 days ago. But what if it's a permanent crash?
I didn't realize that Instagram crashed.
I think you're sleeping.
It
happened overnight in America.
Oh, right, okay. Because I got an email about it or something. Like,
I didn't know this.
Yeah, someone's EDM was like that I received was like an email, and that was the title about Instagram crashing or something. And I was like, whoa, am I not on my phone?
I totally missed this.
I'm so offline. I just
but like, my screen time was just so low.
By the time Australia woke up, Zuckerberg figured it out.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
Good old Zuckerberg.
He switched on the modem or...
Cheers for that, mate. Absolute legend. Thank you.
Restart the computer.
Yeah, wow. Oh, my God. Well, I feel like I could literally, I mean, I will chat to you guys forever and ever and ever, but I want to wrap it up because I feel like people are going to be so full of information, and I just want everyone to go away and maybe even listen to this episode again if you're thinking about starting a business, if you're stuck in your life at the moment. There has been so much amazing advice that's come from you too.
Thank you. I'm so glad.
Oh my God. I literally feel like I'm going to leave and like skip back to the ferry.
Really?
Get on the ferry and just like, I have so much in my brain now that I just like, and things that I have in my life, like with business and personal things at the moment, that I'm just going to apply everything that you've said to me today. Thank you so much.
You know, I just want to add to that. You know, it's a great pleasure to be able to share our story and our journey, but I always want people to realize, like, we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff we're discussing today is a conversation. I don't ever give advice. I don't like sitting in a position where I'm like trying to tell people what they should do. I'm like, we can share our story.
Figuring it out.
There's things we got to go back to the office now and figure out.
Yep.
That's the same as what other people are
Yep.
at different stages in their journey. So I think when people can break bread and discuss with one another, that's when you sort of learn the most and realize we're just all humans trying to figure it out.
Figure it out, man.
Wing it.
That's nice because Don normally says, we're just these losers and trying to just
humans.
We're
not losers today, just
humans
humans today.
just humans.
Well, thank you guys so much. Again, I adore you both. You have made such a huge impact on my life. I know I've told you a million times, but I'm genuinely so grateful for the opportunity to have ever worked with STAX. I love watching you guys grow. I love watching everything that you do. I just think you're so incredible, both of you, and it's such a testament to your marriage and just like everything that you do. I just love you both so much. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to chat to you and work with STAX. So
we appreciate you. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh my God, of course. And guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I know you would have. I'll leave everything in the show notes for STAX. You obviously already fucking know what STAX is, but I'm going to leave everything for Don and Till in the show notes so you guys can go and follow them on Instagram. Make sure you go and shop STAX. And I will speak to you guys next week on the next episode. Bye.
This is a Poly Studios production.